we've got to spend another minute. Yes, another minute on Joy Reid. It's a TikTok situation until her ass is fired. It's just, there's no way MSNBC, which is in a full meltdown now about how bad their losses were, there's no way they can keep this woman. I realize they're in the same problem that the Democrat Party is. Like, they have a base that they need to keep. But she and her little friend, Ellie Mistal, are truly the most racist people on television. And here's her latest messaging, as some groups, indeed, are reportedly planning some march, like the Women's March. Now they're trying to get a march ready. That'll do it. They're going to bust out their pea hats again. Oh.
Yo, check this out, because this is fascinating. Megyn Kelly just caught something that perfectly exposes the media game. Watch how Joy Reid isn't just criticizing a march. She's literally telling progressive women they're not wanted anymore. Think about it. These same media elites who begged white women to save democracy are now throwing them under the bus? Hell no. This is exactly what happens when you outlive your usefulness to the media machine. You feel me? They build you up, use you for ratings, then discard you when the narrative changes. And you know what's wild? They don't even try to hide it anymore.
Okay, all right. It worked out so well the last time. And listen to Joy Reid's reaction.
Hey, I just want to give some free advice to the white progressives, particularly white progressive women who may be thinking about marching against the Trump victory, maybe putting back on the P-word hats and doing that thing. I would just say probably don't send any of those invites to any black women you know. I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not coming. I'm pretty sure black women have resigned from the Save America Coalition, Save Democracy Coalition, and definitely the Save the Democratic Party Coalition. I think that's probably not happening. I would just keep those invites maybe among your own friends, because I don't think they're coming. But yeah, I think black women are now on the Save Black Women, Prioritize Black Men, and prioritize black communities, black businesses, and you know, the black spaces. But Save America, Save the Democratic Party. Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Okay. First of all, where is your hair? What happened to your hair, Joy Reid? It's gone. Like, it's gone from, like, it looked like Trump's hair and now it's gone altogether. Anywho, this is what happens when you get bitter and bitter and bitter. And we've seen all these women shaving off their hair online. Have you seen this? This is like part of the resistance effort to telegraph that you hate Trump. These, you know, somewhat okay looking women are shaving off their hair. So I don't know if that is what she did there, but we already knew that you were a far lefty. You didn't have to shave your head. Second of all, the nerve. Like, this is what happens, right? Emily, she looks at the white progressive women as it, like, what more self-flagellation could white progressive women have done to earn the little pat on the head from the Joy Reids of the world? Ladies, pay attention. It doesn't get you anywhere. If the conservative women or the more moderate white women let you down, you will be lumped in. Your whiteness comes first before your progressivism does.
Hold up. We need to break down what's really happening here. Megyn's exposing something deeper than just Joy Reid's rant. Look at how these media elites actually think. They'll literally sort their own supporters by race. But here's what everyone's missing. This same playbook has been used by media figures for decades. When's the last time you saw any major network trying to unite people? Are you kidding me? Division equals dollars for these people. The more they can split us up, the more money they make. This isn't news. It's a business model built on keeping us angry at each other.
In this battlefield, you will be diminished. You will be rejected by the Joy Reids of the world until what? Until Joy Reid gets her way at the ballot box, Emily.
Well, and Joy Reid is really speaking on behalf of elite progressive black women. She's not speaking on behalf of black women as a whole, because what we've seen over and over again in polling is that the sort of Democratic Party and its activists are far further to the left of actual black voters, Hispanic voters, than they are themselves. So on issues like policing, on issues like economics, like, they tend to be cultural issues for sure. The people like Joy Reid, who are in elite media spaces, are further to the left. And so her sort of going and giving this free advice, as though anybody should care about her free advice after what just happened and her performance as a journalist over the course of the cycle, is hilarious. But I am curious what MSNBC does about, like, overt racism coming from Joy Reid and Ellie Mistal, which happens all of the time on their shows. Do they now recognize it as toxic racism? Now that it's sort of been clear, it's been rejected by voters, it kind of gives them license to say, all right, this is not working. This is too far. This is radical. This is extremism. We're platforming it. Those are executives in the C-suites who are thinking through these questions. Do they now say we have to stop platforming this extreme racism and acting like it's constructive and healthy? I'm actually pretty curious about that.
Me too. Here's a little bit more from her warnings post his victory. Eliana, SOT 20.
Don't think because you have a green card and came through the right way, if you're brown, you may not stick around. I don't think they care whether you have a green card or not. They're pulling people out and taking people out of this country, whether you like it or not, or whether you voted for them or not. Surprise.
So he's going to deport all brown people, even if you're here legally.
Look, this right here is the perfect example of why media ratings are collapsing. They're so desperate for views, they'll say literally anything. But here's what's fascinating. While Joy Reid is fear-mongering about mass deportations, actual polling shows minority support for Trump increasing. You feel me? This perfectly shows how disconnected these media elites are from reality. They're still pushing the same tired narratives while their viewers are waking up and changing the channel. And you know what? They deserve to lose those viewers.
Like, this NBC owns MSNBC, and this organization is allowing her to spew this racist hate on their channel, that he's going to deport all brown people, even those here legally. Eliana, truly, how long can they allow this? And can that party with that kind of thinking survive?
There have been a couple news articles that have floated the idea that NBC, that Comcast may sell MSNBC. And I do think that's being floated for reasons like this, because although the cable news network, the cable news arm of the network makes money, it does cause some problems for the larger enterprise. And I wouldn't be totally shocked to see that happen. A lot of the headlines they make are for clips like the ones you just played. And it's now intentionally being floated in the press that this thing may be spun off into its own orbit. And Joy Reid will be a big part of that. But also, some of the stuff that's on Morning Joe and elsewhere, it is all over the network, which has intentionally defined itself as a resistance network. You recall the absolute hysterics over the fact that Ronna McDaniel was brought on as a contributor, where it was MSNBC hosts that torpedoed something that NBC was trying to do. She was supposed to be a contributor for NBC, and things like that. So I actually wouldn't be shocked to see it be sold.
Because why? Because she was a paid liar, because she attacked the media. And it's like that. They're worried about her being a paid liar from a woman who's saying Trump is going to deport all brown people, even those who are here lawful. But they care about honesty, Eliana.
Because it's a constant public relations liability for the larger NBC News Comcast enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, indeed. And look, the stuff that she's peddling, like if she wants a race riot, that's really what you take away listening to Joy Reid. She actually does want some sort of rioting in the streets, some sort of race revolt. She had on this person, again, this is just on Friday. This is an ancient history, to counsel people who don't want to be around their family members who voted Trump. And sadly, this actually may have been necessary, because if you go online, you will see a ton of lunatics who actually are talking about disowning family members who voted Trump. Listen here.
Someone voted that way. Do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question, because, there is a push, I think just a societal norm, that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people.
All right, this might be the most insane part yet. We're watching mainstream media actively tell people to cut off their own families over politics. Think about that. They want you to skip Christmas with grandma because she voted differently. Come on. This is exactly why people are tuning out. These media elites sit in their million-dollar studios telling working families to tear themselves apart while they cash their massive checks. The disconnect is just wild. And they wonder why nobody trusts them anymore.
And to tell them why, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually talked to, adults as well as advising parents for children. I mean, I think, I don't think that you should force children. I don't think you should force adults to be around people just because they're your family. I think there's a level of need to establish boundaries. And if you feel like you need to establish boundaries with people, whether they're your family or not, I think you should very much be entitled to do so. And I think it may be essential for your mental health.
These people are sick. They're sick, Emily. I look at this whole thing as like it started in the Democratic Party like a cancer, like a basal cell that maybe you could just removed and moved on without too many invasive things happening to you. And now it is a full-blown metastatic pancreatic cancer. And the Joy Reids and the Eddie Glauds, they're everywhere. And this woman who says, not just you, but your children, you need to get them away from people who are pro-Trump. Okay, good luck with that, because children go to school and they see children who disagree with things. And you want your children not to see Nana and Pop-Pop, who are in their 80s, who voted for Trump for reasons like wisdom that comes with age, but you've got to turn it into they're racist and they can't be around each other. It's sick.
So, and also like something like 3 in 10 Black men under the age of 45, according to the Associated Press, voted for Donald Trump. And same thing, he got over 50% of the popular vote. So you're talking about just completely blocking off a vast swath of the country. And on top of that, this means basically what Joy Reid is doing is continuing to mainstream these totally abstract academic concepts of internalized racism and internalized misogyny. Like if we pulled back the layers of the onion as to what she's trying to argue in that segment, it's that you shouldn't associate even with Black voters for Trump or female voters for Trump, because they are internalizing misogyny. They're internalizing racism, internalizing sexism. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day, meaning they are then promoting the racism and sexism back out into society, despite being women or Black voters. They're still responsible for this racism over and over again. And we saw this a lot during the Trump years. But this, to your point about comparing this metaphorically to cancer, this is a cancer cell that started in academia. And people who went through academia were crying from the rooftops for years, saying, please pay attention. This is becoming mainstream. This is being planted. The seed is being planted in the minds of young people, and they're moving into C-suites. They're moving into newsrooms. They're moving into boardrooms. Please do something. Like, stop throwing them a bone. Stop extending the olive branch. Stop taking this stuff seriously, because it is utterly unserious. It is stupid. It is illogical. It is postmodern, and it is stupid. And that's what you now see. And toxic. And yes, and racist and unhealthy and just awful. And this is now what you see having infiltrated fully the newsrooms of major papers and MSNBC. And now what are you going to do about it? I mean, Joy Reid lied about CNN. Joy Reid lied about her blog being hacked. When people found old posts on it that were objectionable. She lied about it, and MSNBC.
They were anti-gay.
Yes, by her own standard, would be wildly homophobic. And she claimed she was hacked, and they didn't get rid of her after that. So I don't know.
Look, here's what's crystal clear after watching Megyn Kelly expose this. The mainstream media isn't just reporting news anymore. They're actively trying to divide us for profit, and they'll throw anyone under the bus to keep their ratings up. If this video made you think, damn, he's spitting facts, smash that subscribe button, because we're going to keep exposing these media games. No filter, no BS, just real talk. Drop your thoughts below, especially if you've caught other examples of media elites trying to divide us for profit. Peace out.